guys, it's Jessie. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video and another reading vlog. Today we have a super fun one because I think I did this once before, but today I'm going to be letting my Instagram followers decide what I read. So I'm going to be putting up 2 different poll options and then my Instagram followers will obviously pick out of those 2 options. They're going to be like full like book choices. They're not going to be like covered or like hinted by emojis or anything like that I've seen people do. So literally just an Instagram chooses what I read. So I put up this first poll like on Valentine's Day in February and it's now mid-May, so like yeah, it has been a while. This has been a long time coming because I've just been all over the place with my reading, but I'm very excited to finally have this video out to you guys. So for the first poll, I think let's just get straight into it. So I put up 2 romances because like I said, the first poll went up on Valentine's Day, which was a long while ago, but like, you know what, doesn't matter. I will also say if you do want to follow my Instagram, it is just Jessie Reads with 2 S's. It is also always linked in the description. So for the first poll, I put The Love Wager by Lynn Painter against My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. This one was pretty close, I believe the kind of closest out of all of them, and the results swayed 46% to The Love Wager and 54% to My Roommate is a Vampire. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I am technically filming this after I read it, so I didn't always say I am looking forward to it, but like I was looking forward to it. So that is going to be our first book for this video, and without further ado, let's just get into me reading it. So time for our first update, and I am pretty much bang on halfway through My Roommate is a Vampire. I'm on page like 117, it's got like 330 pages ish, and I am really liking it. I feel like I'm having such good luck with my reading at the moment, and just I'm enjoying everything, but this one is just so fun. I feel like you obviously have to go into it with a mindset of like it's camp, it's fun, it's silly, it's not serious at all, so don't go in expecting like deep emotional profound romance, but as a little fun rom-com, I am loving this. This is so cute. So we are basically following Cassie, who is pretty broke and she needs a place to stay. She stumbles across an ad that is for a like flatmate that is like $200 a month, and she's like, this is suspiciously cheap, I'm gonna have a go, have a look. And turns out that Frederick J. Fitzwilliam is the owner of the flat, and he's set the price so low because he's a vampire and he doesn't understand modern pricing and things like that, which is so funny. That isn't a spoiler, by the way. We do find out that he's a vampire pretty early on, but the book is basically following like her trying to kind of teach him about modern society, and it's just so funny and so cute. Like I'm just having such a fun time with it. Like it's very unserious. There's like little bits of like letters and like notes that they write back and forth, and like he's written like a to-do list and stuff. Like it's all very like tongue-in-cheek, quite funny, and like I'm having a fun time with it. Yeah, definitely like good vibes. It's sitting at maybe like a 4 at the moment. I'm definitely getting through it very quickly. I don't think it will take me all too long to finish. I'm hoping to finish tonight because I have a decent amount of time to read, and that would be fab, so we can crack on with the other books too. But yeah, overall I'm just having a good time with it. There was one point, obviously he is from like 100 years ago, so he would like had some pretty outdated views on modesty, like just in like bikinis and stuff. Like that's not a major issue for me. I would like it to be addressed again because I feel like it was just dropped, but we'll see. Again, I understand that like with the subject matter though, you know, if you're gonna have him be that old, it's kind of within the realm of like things, you can't really like ignore that. But also like I would love for the way it was left not to be like the final result thing, but like that is such a minor problem, to be honest. And yeah, I just think that they're so cute. He is so like straightforward and blunt, and like she just seems like quite fun and stuff. But I do think the like main selling point of it is him as a vampire and his kind of like funny like accidental one-liners and stuff. I don't think the female main character is very memorable, to be honest, but overall I'm like really happy with it so far and I'm having a good time. So yeah, I will catch up with you probably when I finish this one off, and then we can check the next poll. Hello! So yesterday evening I ended up finishing My Roommate is a Vampire, and overall I thought this was really cute. It was a very unserious, just fun time. It did get a little bit smutty for just 1 or 2 scenes, I think not too many at all, and overall this was just fun. I think the last like 30 pages or something just went so goofy. It was really crazy for a little bit as like the final conflict, I guess. It was just a little bit mad, kind of like think Love on the Brain levels of goofy, but then like also just like exacerbate it even more, like even more goofy. It was like really weird, and that took me out of it a tiny bit, I can't lie. That made me knock it a 0.25 star, I think, just because I was like, this was not unnecessary, and we maybe should not have had a whole conflict, a whole problem solving thing, you know, the whole resolution in like 30 pages, especially when the resolution involves TikTok. Like, it was just a bit weird, I can't lie. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 3.75, but overall it was a fun time. I think people are being too harsh on it. I can't believe anyone would pick up My Roommate is a Vampire. Will it be love at first bite and be like, wow, it didn't have that emotional depth that I was looking for? Do you know what I mean? I feel like you have to set the right expectations for a book like this, and it's just a camp, funny, fun time. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 3.75. I definitely enjoyed it and I had a good time with it. So for our next poll, I will put the results on the screen now, but I'm very, very excited to be reading 5 Survive, which I have been anticipating for such a long time. I know it came out at the start of last year, but I was waiting for the paperback, and I've now had it staring at me for a little while, and I'm super excited to dig into it. So that is what we'll be getting into next. Hey guys, so I have to admit to you, I read the entirety of 5 Survive in one sitting about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, this vlog has been a little bit pushed back. Like, okay, I'm just going to talk about other stuff in general. I feel like I have been in such a slump in May. Since filming my like 30 books in 30 days, I did have exams and stuff, but since having exams, I've really struggled to like get back into the flow of reading when I have like so much free time. I feel like I need to fill up my time more, and like, even though I technically have time to read, I feel like I don't read because I'm like so overwhelmed with the amount of spare time that I have. Whereas like before, I'd be like, I want to use my spare time well, like I want to read, I don't have much time to read, and now I have so much time to read and I don't want to read, which is ridiculous. Anyway, I've read 3 books in May. It's horrendous, so that is why there was no extra video this week. Like, I've genuinely been all over the place. 2 of the 3 books I've read in May have been audio. Like, I've only read 2 audiobooks in 3 weeks. Like, that's ridiculous. I'm like so all over the place, and I keep like starting reading vlog concepts and then being like, oh, actually I want to do this other concept, so I start that other concept, and then I still have like 2 books left to read for this video that I keep pushing back, so I want to do this one, and then I decide not to do this one, I start another book. So it's been all over the place. I'm in the middle of like 5 or 6 books. I'm in the middle of like 4 or 5 videos. So now I am going to give you my review of 5 Survive, which is a little bit overdue, and then we'll go on to the next book, which I am now halfway through, and I'm determined to finish tonight, but I won't get ahead of myself. So we'll talk about 5 Survive. I curled up and read this pretty much in one evening. Like, it wasn't quite one sitting. I think I took a break for dinner, but like I pretty much binged this, and this was such a bingeable, readable book. So I will say I gave it a 3.5. Like, it is definitely my least favourite Holly Jackson book that I have read, because I have since read the reappearance of Rachel Price in those 2 weeks, but I did enjoy this. Like, I really, really enjoyed this. Overall, the twist wasn't crazy to me. It was weird because like I felt like I wasn't super invested in the characters. Like, the secrets that were revealed I did like, but like I wasn't super invested in the characters. The twist felt a little bit goofy to me. Like, it wasn't anything remarkable, but like I just had a really enjoyable time reading this because I found it so bingeable, and I feel like that's the case with all of Holly Jackson's books that I found so far. Like, I just read them so quickly, so easily, and I have such a good time. So that's kind of why it's sitting at a 3.75. In this, we follow Red, who is in an RV kind of on the way doing a road trip with some of her friends for spring break, and their RV tires get like shot out in the middle of nowhere, and there is a sniper saying basically like, one of you guys has a secret, I need you to admit what this secret is, and they're like trapped there overnight, and it's told all in one night. So it's like divided up by like 10 PM 11 PM all throughout the book, and it's basically like the classic YA of everybody's got secrets, everybody reveals their secrets, and then we finally find out what their big secret is. But this one does get a little bit dark at times, but I did still enjoy it. I thought it was a fun time. Again, like I said, the twist, I don't know whether it was a super fair play twist, I guess, because I think certain things there's no way you would have guessed, but then also like in my books sometimes that doesn't really matter too much to me, in like whether you can predict the twist, whether you can't predict it. Like, you don't want it to be too predictable. Like, it is a hard line to sit on, I guess, but like overall it was a fun time. I think maybe if I was a few years younger I would have enjoyed it even more, but like that is nothing against the book altogether. Like, it's not young YA, definitely not. I think it does read a little bit older, just because there are some like I said, dark bits in here, but I had a fun time with it. Like, that's all I can really say. Like, it was a really enjoyable book, and sometimes that's like all I want from reading a book. Like, it doesn't have to be a masterpiece. I would much rather have a book like this, I was like, I had such a fun time with it, than have like a book that I was like, wow, that was excellently crafted, but like I couldn't get through it. It was like a slog to get through. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd pick this over that any day of the week. So 3.75 again is a very good rating for me. Like, I think anything over a 3 is like I enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? And anything over a 3.5 is like, this and it's very good. So yeah, I did enjoy this. Not my favourite Holly Jackson, but still would recommend if you're interested. So now to check the next poll, and me pretending like I don't know the polls when I literally put them up like 2 months ago. The first one went up on Valentine's Day, like it's ridiculous. This has taken me so long to film, but like let's just see what it was. Like maybe it's changed in the time that it's been archived. Anyway, you guys don't know. So the final poll was between The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland and Magnolia Parks 5. This one I felt like was a little bit cheaty because like who is not gonna pick Magnolia Parks 5? Do you know what I mean? Like you guys know that I love this book, you know I love the series and it's much more popular, but it is another 2024 release, so I did put it up against each other and it was 31 to 69% to Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. I'm so excited. I adore this book, and as you probably just saw, I am pretty much halfway through now. I think slightly over. The past week or so, I would say for about like just over a week, I have felt so reading slumpy, and this is like my most anticipated book of the year. This is the only thing that I have been able to pick up, and don't get me wrong, like 5-star vibes, like 5-star vibes. I adore it every time I pick it up. I think it's the perfect thing for me to be reading right now, because I think if there was anything else, like even stuff like Funny Story by Emily Henry, which is like on my radar to read for a video pretty soon, like even that is not like getting my attention and like making me want to pick it up. Like this is the only thing that I want to pick up, and like yes, it's taking me forever, which is a little bit difficult. I've been reading this for like over a week now, which is crazy for me. Like I know it's a big book, but for me, like I could read probably 300 pages in 2 days. So like realistically this should maybe take me 4 or 5, whereas it's like over 7 at this point. It's taken me ages to get through, but I am adoring it, and like I think it's the perfect thing for me to be reading right now when I am feeling slumpy. I think maybe me coming off this, again it might be a bit difficult going in to a different book after reading this, but like coming off like the high of finally finishing a book, I feel like maybe I can jump into something else a little bit easier. But like picking up this is so easy because I adore the characters. It feels like, not to be like that, but like it feels like coming home. Like do you know what I mean? Like so easy for me to read, and I adore the story. Always feel so sucked back in, so like there's no issue there. It's just like in general, like I'm not feeling ready vibes, or like I don't know what it is, like I'm just getting weird vibes. I'm feeling like unorganized, I think, with my reading a little bit, because like I've started vlogs and stuff and like not finished them and things like that. This is like the perfect thing to be reading. I'm feeling super unorganized and like all over the place and everything like that, so I feel like just gonna finish this one and then this vlog is done, and then I can move on to other things and hopefully just systematically finish off the like 1 or 2 books I have to read to finish vlogs, and then hopefully I can get back on track. But I am adoring this. We are following Magnolia and BJ in this book. This is their last book. I won't tell you pretty much anything else because that'll be a spoiler, as this is technically the 5th book in the series. But like I'm having the best time. It makes me laugh out loud. Like some of these things these people say are hilarious. I adore all of the characters in here, and I think definitely I could see, I've not heard any criticisms of this, but like I could see criticism of certain bits do feel a little bit repetitive, but I think that was also the case for Long Way Home, and like that's not an issue for me because I adore it. Like yes, probably 100 pages could be cut at some point, but like I adore these characters so much, I would take like another book this big, like you could double the size and I would still read it and enjoy it. I have heard though that it's a massive tearjerker, especially towards the end. I've got like this much left, as you guys can see, and I am determined to finish it tonight and get this video up tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll see. I have already shed tears. I've shed multiple tears at multiple different points. Like this is a very sad book and it deals with very sad topics, and I think in a really excellent way. I'm really enjoying the way these things are being shown and told and stuff like that, and these topics being dealt with, but I am concerned for the second half of this book, because like what can happen for it to get more sad? Like I'm genuinely scared, and like surely there is a happy ever after, surely. I don't know. Oh my god, I don't know. Anyway, I just want the best for all these characters. I adore them, and certain characters that we've seen in this just like break my heart. Anyway, I will get to reading this, and hopefully this evening I will still be in this outfit, fingers crossed. Also, I know I was in this outfit for the last update. I like just edited that, but that was like literally a month ago, 2 weeks ago, so I have washed it since then. I'm probably worn it like 3 other times, so like I promise it's not gross. Hopefully you will see me again for the 3rd time in this top, because I will have finished it today. Fingers crossed. Let's see. I'm literally on page like 611. I'm so stressed out. Oh my god, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm actually terrified. I'm so scared. You guys, we did it, and I'm so happy. It is the next morning now. We have an outfit change, yay, how exciting for the video. But I finished this yesterday evening, more so night, and it was 5 stars. Of course it was 5 stars. I did love this book. I think I was saying this in my last update, but just like being back with these characters, like their humor and stuff, I absolutely adore it. Like I just love reading about them. It's such a long book, but I don't have any issues with it being so long. Like I just happily read and read and read and read. Like I really love it. I will say, like I feel like I've got more critiques than I do few things to say, but like overall, like the positive out of this is like I adore this series. It's one of my favorite series. Like this individual book would be in like my top 50 of all time, do you know what I mean? But I do have some critiques because although it's a 5-star, like I don't think it's quite as good as the others in this series. Personally, I do think it's one of the weaker iterations, I guess. I am very much more preferring Daisy Hates to Magnolia Parks. I feel like for me it goes Daisy Hates Great Undoing, Daisy Hates 1, Magnolia Parks 1, and then maybe this one is probably kind of on par with Magnolia Parks 2, The Long Way Home, and I feel like this one's pretty much tied for that. With The Long Way Home, I did originally give it a 4.5, I believe, and then on a reread it was a 5. This one was a 5 altogether, but like I do have a couple of things that like weren't perfect about it, but like overall, like the joy I get out of these books, they're so like 5 stars, you know what I mean? So all of that to kind of say like I will be giving a couple of little critiques, but they're so minor comparatively to like my enjoyment of the whole book. It's just like when I enjoy a book, I have such little to say about it besides loved it, really good, made me happy, like whatever. This one did make me cry at times as well towards the end. Like there's just some scenes, and like the way that Jessa Hastings writes about like love and things is just beautiful. Like it makes me cry, I can't lie, it does make me cry. A couple of things, I did kind of want a little bit more teasers towards the next Daisy Hates book in the end of this. I feel like the first book, I'm not sure if the first Daisy Hates book does, but definitely the third and the fourth all end on kind of big-ish events and kind of like a cliffhanger or just like a big reveal or something like that, and it definitely felt like we were building to some type of reveal towards the end. And don't get me wrong, like I think the ending that we had was like perfect for Magnolia and BJ's story, although I think for like the nature of the Magnolia Parks universe as a whole, it very much feels like a closed chapter. We do get like little sneak peeks throughout of kind of what's going on with Christian and Daisy and Julian and Jonah and stuff like that. However, I think very much less so than the other books, and I also do think that I would have loved to have just seen a little bit more towards the end, like not necessarily from Magnolia and BJ, but like maybe one chapter at the end of a Christian point of view or something like that, just to like tease us a bit, or like something that's said that maybe seems like it's said in passing towards the end but like is a bit shocking, because I feel like this very much felt like a finality to it, and there are still things I'm excited about for Daisy Hates 3, but like I would have loved to have a little bit more. And also I think this is just like the way the book ends. It ends in a really weird way grammatically. Like the last sentence is dialogue but it ends with but, and I'm like, that just doesn't make sense grammatically to me. I think I saw someone talking online that it was kind of just like an Australian way of like ending a sentence with a but I was just there like but what, and I realized it's like referring to like the clause of the sentence before. Not to get so technical that I'm talking about clauses of sentences, but I'm reading it and I was like, huh, what? Because that's just not how at least I know British people would speak, do you know what I mean? You don't end a sentence with a but, it's kind of like a joiner of sentences, but like that's again so minor. But I just remember sitting there at the end of the book and it almost kind of ruined my like happy feelings at the end of the book, because I'm sat there going, what? And I had to like reread it. I was like, that doesn't make sense in a sentence. That was like the initial thoughts I had. I was like, huh? I was like, am I missing some of the book? Like what? But no, I think that's just the way it's meant to end or whatever. I think it's just like a turn of phrase or whatever. So not a big deal. Again, I feel like I'm like harping on random things. Also as well, there are a couple of things that felt like hinted to throughout, in which like characters will be like, yeah, this is really difficult for me because of that one thing that happened ages ago, and then another character will be like, yeah, I'm the only one that she told about that one thing that happened ages ago. And then I feel like we didn't ever get revealed what that one thing was. Again, I looked it up online afterwards because I was so confused, and I feel like there's a couple of different theories, and one of them is something that has already kind of been revealed, and I definitely think it could be that, but like it was kind of hinted at as if it was something that hasn't been revealed, and I definitely felt like something was kind of building to it, if that makes sense, and it just wasn't really. And I don't know whether that will come up in other books. I definitely feel like the writing very much feels intentional and things like that. Like I don't think that the author is going to leave like a plot hole that big, do you know what I mean? Because it feels like it was definitely hinting towards something, but then we wouldn't get the fallout of that from Magnolia and BJ's point of view unless they do have POVs in the other books, but I just don't know if they do. Anyway, that's just again a couple of minor things that stood out. So like if you've read the book, I would love to chat to you about, because obviously I had to be very spoiler friendly with that, but overall I did enjoy it a lot. I had such a great time with it. I was laughing, I was crying. What I liked this book, unlike the first time really, that I felt very much endeared towards BJ. I haven't really enjoyed him in the previous 2 books, or at least the previous 2 Magnolia Parks books, but I actually really enjoyed him as a character and a love interest for Magnolia. Obviously he's a love interest for Magnolia. I really enjoyed seeing them together in this book. It definitely felt like a lot of character growth. They're dealing with some really like difficult things in this book, and it was more so kind of them learning how to deal with things together instead of like running away and like, you know, things like that. And I really enjoyed seeing them both kind of grow as individuals and as like a more mature couple, and that was really excellent as well. So I had a great time seeing the growth in this book, and I definitely feel like it made me more endeared towards other characters. Also, like, there's just some other side plots that I feel really confusing. Like, I feel like things were building with side characters, and then suddenly in this book Jessa Hastings was like, oh no, actually no, that's not what's gonna happen. So that was a bit confusing to think where things are gonna go from here, but like I am still excited to read obviously the other books in the series. But yeah, there was just like a couple of bits that I was like, huh. So, like, I don't think it's a perfect book. I definitely don't enjoy it as much as Daisy Hates, but I think it's still a 5-star. Like, I had the best like feelings being back with these characters, and I really enjoyed it. I think this is definitely a bit of a deeper book, and like there's less drama and stuff comparatively to the others, but again, excellent, loved it. So overall we had some pretty great reads in this video now that I've finally finished it. So we had 2 3.75s. I think out of these two I definitely enjoyed this one a little bit more, but 2 3.75s, a fun little romance thriller, and then obviously a 5 with Magnolia Parks 5 as well. And yeah, I just had the best time. So let me know if you guys have read any of these, what your thoughts are, and if you enjoyed them, anything like that. And yeah, sorry this video took so long to get out to you and actually finish, but I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to give it a like down below, hit subscribe and turn on the bell to join a little club, and make sure you turn on all notifications, then you'll be notified every single time I post a new video. And if you want to watch one of my other videos, there'll be 2 on the screen now to pick from, as well as they've linked up in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!